Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and I'm here with a cup of tea, very fittingly I feel for this game, taking a look at the latest title to hit Steam Early Access. That is Darkest Dungeon, being developed by Red Hook Studios. I just take a sip of this tea here, warm my throat and my heart, because we're going to need to do so to experience the darkest of dungeons in the Darkest Dungeon. It's an early access game. Right? I mean, first and foremost, let's get that out there. Usually when we say early access, we think unfinished. Not complete, broken, lacking, filled with bugs, not really even sure what the game is supposed to be. That is not the case with Darkest Dungeon. Red Hook Studios has released their game into early access in a form that is essentially complete. I mean, it's here. It's not broken, it's gorgeous, it looks beautiful, it sounds great, it plays great. And it's just an overall intense and wonderful experience. This is why you're seeing so many other people, so many other YouTubers and streamers playing Darkest Dungeon, because it's wonderful. No other reason, not because it's some big fad or some niche thing to play Darkest Dungeon. No, this is a genuinely great little game, and it's not even done yet. The devs plan on releasing more content, more character classes, more mechanics over the next 6 months, hopefully pushing on to the game's final release near somewhere in Q2, Q3 of 2015. And that is just wonderful, because I am in love with this game already. It pulls you in, and the game manages to be almost instantly memorable when you combine, again, that art style, the music, which is just kick you in the eardrums good, and the narrator, the caretaker that you heard there at the beginning as we entered into our estate. His voice is just, it's the icing on the top of the cake for this experience. So let's just go ahead and let's play some Darkest Dungeon and check this out. This is going to be a pretty lengthy playthrough. There's a lot to this game. There's a lot I want to talk about. And yeah, I mean, there's just a lot to get through here. And on top of that, I'm also about to be facing one of the first bosses in the first dungeon of our estate. Basically, you are a character who's been contacted by your caretaker to come back and try and reclaim your estate. It's been overrun by just general baddies. You got necromancers and different monsters and ghosts and Gimlins, and they've torn down your estate, and you need to try and recapture it. And the start of your game is at this hub here. At this hub, we can recruit new heroes. We can visit different buildings that will allow us to help our heroes out after their often long and terrible journeys through said dungeons, and we can also upgrade our gear. There's a lot of different stuff going on here, but let's start by taking a look at our actual heroes. Now, if you're interested in just skipping to the combat, you don't care about all of the nuances of the game, I'll have an annotation. You can go ahead and hop right into the first dungeon with me. But for those of you who want to stick around, let's check out our available heroes as it currently stands. Actually, let's take a look at the people who have died. Let's view our fallen heroes. So there's quite a few of them already. It's kind of sad, but what are you going to do? It happens. We have Raolin. He was a seeker highwayman, and he met their end against a brigand cutthroat. He wasn't actually very good. I took him on, and he actually died in his first run out. However, we come to Manxiao, however you want to say it. He was an apprentice jester. He met his end against a bone soldier. Not just any bone soldier. This was the bone soldier of a great pyromancer boss that we were taking on. Sadly, he was vanquished, alongside of Herbert and Boteriel. They both also vanquished alongside of this necromancer. As you can see, Herbert actually taking a final swing from the necromancer apprentice himself. Trenchant also met a similar death. So this whole crew kind of went bye-bye when we tried to take on the necromancer and basically got our butt handed to us. So today we're not going to just go headfirst with the necromancer. We're going to do a little bit more dungeon crawling and try and sort of beef things up a little bit. Because as you'll see, we actually have two fresh recruits. We have yet another jester and another seeker Helion. Now, by right-clicking on any of our heroes, we can actually view a ton of different statistics and things about said heroes. One of the most important things that you're going to focus on are their preferred position and their preferred target. This is their placement on the battlefield when engaging in combat inside of dungeons. Combat is turn-based, and your characters will basically be lined up from 1 to 4 in a row. And different characters will be able to attack from different positions, and different abilities will allow the characters to attack from different positions in different ranges. So that stuff is definitely important to focus on. Luckily, it shows you all of that when you're in combat, so it's not like you have to actually just mentally remember it. At the same time, we can take a look at our combat skills, of which we can have 4 at any given time, and our camping skills, of which we can have 3 at any given time. And then, of course, we have all of our different resistances, all of our base stats, our current equipment, and we also have some quirks, positives and negatives. So our current positives for Maudette is that she is a Ruins Explorer. It's plus 20% scouting chance when in dungeons, which is very useful. And she's also plus 15% to bleed resistance. She's got some thick blood, very good at clotting. At the same time, she's bloodthirsty. She's fascinated with injury, wounds, and torture. That may actually end up being more of a positive than a negative, depending on the situation. We can also rename these characters if we would like to do so, but I find the names to be actually pretty good. The only one I've renamed here was actually this character, which is now Dauphine. Interestingly enough, named after my brother's dog, but if you know anything about French and that name, you'll know that name has a lot more meaning to it. In terms of my longest standing characters currently, we have Reynald and we have Dismas. Reynald hasn't actually reached level 2, simply because he's been spending a lot of time praying. His stress was so high that I pretty much just had to send him off, and he had to spend some time in the Abbey praying to the higher power. This is a very important aspect of this game. Your heroes will eventually reach max stress, and you'll have to do a number of different things depending on what they are actually what type of character they are to relieve that stress. Speaking of stress, as much as I would like to take Dismas into combat with us, he is pretty damn near 100% stress, so we're actually gonna have to take him into the tavern, and you know what? We'll send him to the brothel, he's basically, oh, we don't even have enough. This is rough, man. It looks like you're coming with us, dude. Unless any of these treatments is cheaper. We could take him to the bar, but I'm not one for drinking your sorrows away, so you know what? He's going to have to come with us and just he's going to have to tough it out. But as you can see there, different characters prefer to do different things to relieve stress. On top of all of that, we could upgrade our combat skills, and then we can also upgrade each of these different buildings using materials that we find within the dungeons, basically valuables, busts, portraits, deeds, and crests. I've actually done a bit of upgrading, but let's just go ahead and actually embark on a little bit of an adventure here. Let's go ahead and clear out a dungeon. Now, each of these different locations has a progress bar to clear a path to the boss. You'll start off usually with one type of mission that you can do, one type of dungeon exploration, dungeon outing, if you want to call it that. And as you continue to do more and more of those dungeon outings, you'll increase that percentage. Eventually, you'll be able to take on the boss, like I've done here in the Ruins. Now, there's no way we're going to be able to take this guy on. He is a level 1, but I want to get my characters a little bit more powerful, and I want to get a little bit more gold, frankly, because we don't even have enough to purchase all of the required provisions to make that dungeon a successful one. So we have a couple other options here. The issue is we want to avoid anything that is going to be more difficult. As you can see, some of these are just even harder, and anything that's going to really be an extended mission. This is a medium length quest, which is going to require us to camp at least once. I don't think our crew could currently survive that, so we're going to go to a skirmish. Our main goal is to complete 100% of the room battles. So let's go ahead and queue up our heroes here. We'll get Reynald. Reynald hasn't been in combat for a while, man. He's a bit rusty, but I'm confident in his abilities. And I think we're actually going to want to go double tanky here. Let's get Maudette in on this. Now let's go ahead. We're going to purchase our provisions before we actually move into combat here. So we definitely want to grab some torches, because I'm not doing a no torch run like some crazy people are doing. I think we'll be alright with 5. We don't really need that. We'll go with 4. We don't need that many torches. Food-wise, 4 should be more than enough. And we'll grab a couple bandages just in case to prevent some bleeding. That's really going to be all of our money, so we really need to score some loot on this run if we want to be able to continue running dungeons. Let's go ahead and embark. Take another sip of my tea. One of the nice things about this game, actually, is that you can play the entire game with the mouse.
The fiends must be driven back.
Now, for most people, that's not a big deal. That's just like, well, you don't want to use your keyboard, but it's funny because I made that video yesterday talking about the progression systems, and there was a viewer who actually talked about the fact that he was a quadriplegic and he didn't actually have full use of his hands or his fingers. And this isn't something that we think about as, someone who doesn't have to deal with these issues on a day-to-day basis. How that can actually affect what games you can actually experience and play. So I would like to say, no other way around it, that, this game would be great for someone who is in that situation, someone who doesn't have full functioning hands or fingers. This is something they can play with one mouse, and frankly just a couple clicks. It doesn't require rapid, precision. It doesn't require really fast reaction times. You can take your time and you can do everything with the mouse. It's not something we think about often, it really isn't. And I know that there are people out there, there are groups of people out there who are trying to make sure that games are more accessible for others. And it's definitely something that I think is worth mentioning when a game, sort of highlights that ability. So I'd like to thank that person for commenting. I can't really think of their name off the top of my head, their YouTube profile name, but thank you for sharing that. It's not something that we all think about on a day-to-day basis, and I feel like it was a valuable perspective that I definitely took to heart. So let's go ahead and move through the dungeon here. You'll see that the map is set out kind of like you would set up a piece of grid paper if you were playing a game of D&D, pen and paper style. So we really don't actually know what is in any of these rooms, although we could actually scout if the opportunity arose and our characters decided that they were going to scout, or perhaps we found a map and learn a little bit about these different rooms. We're going to go ahead and I think we'll push up and to the right here, and then we'll come back down and clear out these two rooms. So let's go ahead and click on this room and navigate our way through it. Something to smile about. Okay, we got a little bit of gold there, always nice. I knew I should have brought a shovel. Damn it. I figured it was such a small dungeon we wouldn't need a shovel. Now, this pile of debris here, we can spend a bunch of time digging through it with our hands. And we're going to lose health, we're going to become more stressed because of it, which is not something we need, considering our good old Dismas here was already stressed enough. Poor man. Had I brought a shovel, we could have just dug our way through that. No stress, no time, and no health would have been wasted, so that's a bit sad, but on to the next room. Into combat we go. So combat, as I said, is turn-based. I hate these guys. These damn bone couriers always throwing their old, nasty blood at you. Look at that. They're just splashing blood on you. And the goblet never runs out. It's a never-ending, nasty blood goblet. Alright, let's check this out. Now, each of our characters, like I said, they have a different set of skills. And these skills can be used from different ranges and different positions. So if we actually move our mouse over any of these given skills, it'll tell us the position that we can attack from, and then the targets that we can hit while attacking from those positions. Now we could go ahead and use the Adrenaline Rush here, sort of buff ourselves and but I would like to try and do some damage right off the bat. So let's go ahead and click on If It Bleeds. Now, once we click on an ability, that we can then move our mouse over any of the enemies that we're going to attack, and we'll get a set of statistics. We'll have the enemy's current resists, and we'll also have our percentage to hit, our percentage to crit, and the amount of possible damage. So 85% chance to hit on that. Let's see if anything's a little bit higher. We can really only hit that guy in the back with that one. We could just do a standard hit right in the front here. But let's go ahead and try and do If It Bleeds. Now let's try and take out this Bone Courier, because I hate these guys. You really can't go wrong with a crit hit like that. Just a straight up instant kill. That's what's up. Okay, on to Reynald. What do you got for us, Reynald? Let's see. Do a stunning blow here. That doesn't seem too high. We could go ahead and increase. Let's go ahead and let's just try and hit them with the Zealous Accusation. Double crit. Nice, man. Not often do you get to land something like that. Small damage, we can handle that. Oh, that was a heavy crit on our healer there. We're going to go ahead and we're going to use Divine Grace and heal just her. The rest of our guys are in pretty good shape right now. Let's just go ahead and see if we can't finish this guy off here. Oh my, 1 in a million. Honestly, Dismas is usually my man. Dude's like just crit crazy. He's always critting. This is not good for our stress levels here. Let's go ahead and, this is rough. I'd really just want to heal her again. I want to get her health back up to a more safe state. We don't really need her having any more stress. That is not good. Yes! Okay, so there will become a point during combat often whether somebody takes a lot of damage, somebody's stress usually hits 100%, where their resolve is tested. Two things can happen. They can go batshit crazy, they can kill themselves, they can wound themselves, they can just ignore your orders, or they can become heroic. And Dismas is my man. He always 3 times now. I have pushed him to the limit, and he has become heroic. He is no ordinary highwayman, and I love him for that. Let's see if we can just drop this guy. Nice little crit. Taking him out. You can tell why this game puts a smile on people's faces, because it's just so good. So good. Alright, let's hack this guy up. We're just going to do a simple hit. Nice crit. Obviously that target had very low health. Let's see what we have percentages wise. We got a 57. Not a lot of high stuff going on here. I'd actually like to... I'd like to try and just buff this guy, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's get his defense up a little bit. Especially with his stress level being so high. We're gonna go ahead and take aim. It's basically another buff for this guy. Let's just see if we can land a killing blow. Totally worth it. Nicely done. We actually got a shovel. Hopefully we'll actually run into some more debris, because I'd be pissed if we found a shovel and never ran into any more debris. Alright, back to the map here. Let's make our way. Got a bit of loot here. Now, it's always risky to actually loot anything you find in a dungeon, because there's a chance it could be trapped. Luckily, that was actually just good, so sometimes reading those books can be a debuff on your character. In that case, an increase in stress that we really genuinely didn't need. So you gotta roll the dice on those. For the most part, I always click them, just because the negative effects never seem to. They don't seem to occur that often, I guess is the way to put it. And when they do, they don't seem to be that high. At least not on in a lower level, shorter dungeon like this. You know, where are we going to fight a boss? I might be a little bit more cautious about what I start shoving my hands into. However, Irresistible, that was actually a nice buff that we got there. Could definitely use that. More torches. Let's actually go ahead and hit up a torch. One of the other wonderful things about Darkest Dungeon, right, is that there are a lot of games that I'll play and then actually, there's very few games that I'll play and I'll also watch people's content on, whether it be on Twitch or on YouTube. Because it's like, oh, I mean, I'm already playing, I don't really need to watch anybody else play it. But a game like Darkest Dungeon that uses procedural generation and has so many different ways you can go about playing the game, it's genuinely enjoyable to take a look at your strategy while you're playing the game and then watch someone else play. See the strategy they're using, see what kind of ridiculous play they're doing. You know, there are people out there doing no torch playthroughs right now. You know, whether or not that's because there's obviously a direct bonus to it or just because they want to do it. There are people out there trying to keep as many of their heroes alive as possible. There's just so many different ways to play the game, and I still do not know how to disarm those things. Yeah! Heroic. That's what I want to hear, Reynold. Good man. Just makes you happy when the dudes are all rough and tough. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's better than a trap. Let's go ahead and eat. There's our food that we had for the trip. Alright, big fight. Let's do this. Hopefully Reynold here can stay alive. Not a good start. We don't need any dirty blood being splashed on us. Alright, let's see. He's already got that buff going, carried over, so let's just whack one of these guys right in the front of the pack here. Hopefully we can land it. No crit, sadly, but it's good enough. I'd like to get this guy bleeding, but we're really not in the position to do so, which is kind of an issue. Let's go after the Acolyte. Really don't need him doing any buffing of his teammates there. That was really a heavy hit. This guy will probably bleed out. No, you've got to be kidding me. I can't believe I just lost Reynolds. I figured he would be able to handle a little bit more and we'd be able to heal him on the next turn. Oh, that is rough. I'm genuinely upset about that. Like I'm really sad. That's not cool. Oh. I'm just gonna be silent for a little bit. At least that guy bled to death, you know, I guess. Wow, dude, that really sucks. Yeah, that seriously sucks. All right, let's just finish these guys off. Land a nice little debuff on the Cultist Brawler. I mean, that's rough, man. It really, really is. I haven't been playing the game for that long, but I mean, he's been with me since the beginning, you know? I mean, and he's just been a badass. Him and Dismas. If I lose Dismas, you know, it'll be the same way. I'll be devastated. Nice crit by the Highwayman. Clean him up, clean him up.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious.
And this was the last frickin' room, too. We didn't even need to go back. Oh my god, dude. Right at the end. Right at the end. I am so pissed right now. No one will ever be able to replace him. Okay, so we've gained some perks. Slayer of Mankind and the Last Gas, those are both positive at least, so that's good.
I can still see their angry faces as they stormed the manor.
I
I
love...
was dead before they found me. And the letter was on its way.
I love his voice, man. Outstanding, really. This is basically the Caretaker's goals. We can defeat the Apprentice Necromancer, which was that guy that I lost the whole crew to. There's roster goals. So just nice little list of goals, basically. And we can also, of course, see our current thing, Week 6. That's just rough, man. I met their final fate during the quest, level 1 shorts. I'm so sad about that. I really genuinely am. It's like losing a character in XCOM, you know? I love permadeath. I really do, because it changes the way you experience the game from an emotional standpoint. He's stressed, but again, I don't really want to dump him, but we do need to pick up some more heroes here just to have them in our roster. We got a Plague Doctor, a Secret Plague Doctor.
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
It's 2 rank 1 guys. You'll notice we can also upgrade the Stagecoach. We can increase the number of available heroes. We can also increase the size of our roster so we can have more. Right now we're currently at 9. I'm more than content with 9. What I would like to do, though, is see if I can't... I don't think I have enough here for any really upgrades. I mean, we don't have a lot of resources currently is the actual issue. We're a bit lower than I would like to be. These are insanely expensive, but these are basically a bunch of rare items that if you can afford are going to be really beneficial for members of your team. I'm trying to slowly decrease the cost of these trinkets over time before I actually buy anything. I'm hoping that will be more of a end game tool for me then. Also, we forgot to check out the Survivalist over here. The Survivalist basically helps with camping. You can swap out skills. You can purchase new skills. So you can see right here, we could spend some money on some new camping skills, but not really, again, something I'm super concerned with this early on. I'm trying to accept the death of Reynald, but let's just head right back out. And that's all there is to it. I still don't think we're quite ready to take out the boss here. But maybe, I don't know. No, it's just not going to happen. Not with his stress level so high. I mean, frankly, we need him to rest up is what we need him to do. We don't have enough level 1s. Too many of them are 0, and that actually does make a pretty big difference. Let's say we, let's go ahead into Weld here. New location, new area of the state, and we'll once again do a 100% room battle clear. This is another short one, so we should be all right. We're going to bring... Actually, you know what? I feel like it's daft to bring Dismas. Let's pay to get his stress relieved. All right, we'll send him on his way, and we'll go ahead and we'll grab some of these freshies. We'll take Dauphine with us again. We'll take our Maudette. Now the question is here. We've got two fresh jesters. We definitely want to take the doctor with us. And let's provision up and head on out. Ah, man, rough. Rough, really is rough. One thing a lot of people have been complaining about, I've seen on the forums for this game, the Steam community page, is that people don't like the fact that you don't carry over provisions. I guess the devs eventually have a plan to make it so you partially carry over provisions. There's like a chance to carry provisions over. So I kind of like the idea of that. Alright, let's go ahead and embark. We should be good enough. I'm hoping it's just a short one. We grabbed the shovel at least because I don't want to waste... I mean, you seriously take a lot of damage, and it's big increase in stress when you have to dig through this giant wall of stone and rock.
Corruption has soaked the soil, sapping all good life from these groves. Let us burn out this evil.
Let us burn it out. I agree. Let's make it happen. So let's head right into the next room. We only have really one option here. What the hell is this? Okay, that's just what we use the shovel for.
A victim to the spreading corruption.
I thought it was a monster at first. I'm like, what is this thing? Nothing like some deeds. Always use those to upgrade some of our city properties. Alright, got some speedras. Or some Webbers, as they're called in this game. 63%, 63%. Yeah, let's just, I mean, really no reason to use Battlefield Medicine right now. None of us are currently afflicted, so I'd like to just try and finish this guy off. And a dodge. Bouncy little spider it is.
Press this advantage.
Nice crit, nice crit. It was low on health, as to be expected. The Jesters are usually relatively, you know, they have high dodge as their base statistic, so I usually like having them aboard because, man, some of those big hits, they just seem to, dodge them.
With impunity.
Nice small little battle, gather some resources there. Sadly, we have a debuff on our Jester right now. Not really something I'm looking forward to dealing with. Eerie spider webs. Let's roll the dice on it. Oh, nice. We've got a martyr seal. Ancestral. Yeah, dude, I'll take that. This just makes that's a nice find, man. I'm stoked about that. Whoa, it's a spitter. There's always that one enemy that's got to throw stuff at you. They're not content until at least one member of their crew can throw some sort of nasty liquid in your face. We got bladed. Not good. Alright, let's see what we have here. 79 on that. Yeah, let's just try and hit the guy right up front here. And a dodge. And a debuff on top of it. Lovely, 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 lovely. Nice crit by the Plague Doctor. Let's just go ahead and buff her. We need to get her moved up. She's sitting way in back, and she can't do anything back there is the issue that we have. Let's just cast Judgment and another dodge. Had a feeling that was going to happen. Oh, he is not in a good place right now. We really should be trying to push him back. It's just like he does good damage with that, you know. If he hits it anyways, it's actually not that much. Let's just move him back. Yeah, as if you didn't have enough things going wrong with your day, Mr. Jester. There, I've just had to make it worse. Let's go ahead and heal him up. Still has those debuffs on him, and he's still marked for death, though, so not good. Let's move her to the front of the pack if we can. Not a good time to be doing party reorganization. This sort of thing can genuinely eat away at your hero's health when you're having to waste all this time rotating positions in combat. Not good, not good at all. Nice crit. We really needed that. There we go. was gonna say, I mean, these spiders didn't even have any health, you know? It was just rough. It's really what it was. It's rough going. Alright, on to the next one. Let's actually go ahead and pop a torch. Yeah, I really can't recommend watching as much gameplay on this as you can. Even if you decide to pick it up, see what other people are doing out on the web, man. You know, check out... I know Force is doing a no torch playthrough. I haven't watched that yet. I'm looking forward to actually checking that out. There's a bunch of people just doing tons of different stuff with this game, though, and I love that. It's that sort of single-player, you know, experience that has a lot of actual social interaction going on because everybody's talking about what they're doing with their game. I love that stuff, man. It's great. It is just awesome. Alright, we got some ectoplasm. Eldritch ectoplasm. Some H.P. Lovecraft stuff going on here. Listen to that music, though. Let's just listen to it for a moment. It's just perfect, you know, sort of battle music, man. I love it. I love it. I really do. Alright, let's make something happen here. Enough talking. 90% chance, let's just go for it.
Fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Can we actually get a hit? Yeah, we can. Let's do it. 85%. I'll roll on that. Alright, let's finish it off. Heroic. It's all you, dude. That's what's up. That's what happens when you're made of goo. You're just really easy to kill. That could have been a lot worse. Luckily there wasn't a trap in that one. Alright. We could actually move down and check out this room, but I'm just going to keep moving. We'll hit it on the way back if we need to. Rather not waste my time backtracking early on like this. Nice find, nice find. What the hell is this? Troubling effigy. An unsettling effigy erected in service to a mysterious god. Ah! Use a bandage. Stop us from bleeding really quickly. Last thing we need to be doing is walking around dripping blood everywhere. Alright, next room. I have a feeling we're gonna have to backtrack. Whoa, not good.
Ancient traps lie in wait, unsprung and thirsting for blood.
Okay, we need to pop a torch here. Let's eat. 2 torches going. It's starting to get a bit dark. Nice, nice. Alright, on to the next room here. This is a pretty empty dungeon so far. This is going to be a relatively quick clear. So we end up having to backtrack, which I have a feeling we just may have to. A lot of good heirlooms out of this one, though. Definitely going to help us with some of those upgrades further down the road. I'm just going to loot all of this. We're in pretty good shape right now. Yeah, it looks like we're backtracking. Oh, wait, no, here we go. This could be the last one. What the hell? Fungal artillery. Ugh. Not good. Not good start already. Let's go ahead and heal our Jester. We need to get him rotated at least into the second spot and see if we can't get our Hellion up front here, because she's way too far back right now. Let's see if we can't get a debuff going on here. Yeah, double debuff. Landed on 2 of these guys. That's what's up. Nice dodge. We are bleeding here. We need to use a bandage. Glad I brought one. 75% on the guy in the back row. Let's go for him. I should have actually rotated. That was kind of stupid of me. Let's do it right now. Nice, nice. Alright. That's what I'm talking about. 88. We're going for it. Nice crit. Pennant here, man. Doing some good stuff. I like the laugh. Just, you know, we gotta make sure we invoke a little bit of fear into these guys. They think they're scary. You know what? No, we're fucking scary. You gotta get brutal at times like this. Alright. He's already bleeding. I don't really need to drop a second bleed on him, but I'd like to try and get one of these guys a little bit bloody. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So I finally got the Plague Doctor in proper range here. So we could go ahead, we could dump some blinding gas on them. Might be worthwhile just to go for an incision on this front guy. Nice dodge. Alright, we're in pretty good shape heal-wise. I don't feel the need to genuinely, Let's just hit the guy up front. I feel like we can land that crit. Yeah, there we go. Just confident. Confident there. Plus, we got a nice little 2 HP heal off on our healer there. This guy in the front, I mean, he's... I want to just drop this guy. Let's not even worry about him. I think we can just take him.
A singular strike.
Truly amusing. Let's go for it. Let's just start dishing out damage. This is the last guy. Let's clean him up. Clean him up. Clean him up. Nice.
Prodigious size alone
Death
does
by
not dissuade
bleeding.
the sharpened blade.
Alright, so we haven't actually cleaned out 100%, so we're going to have to make our way back through the dungeon here. Let's get another torch burn, and that's our last torch. Let's hopefully we can make it through. We're just going to skip anything on the ground. I don't trust I don't trust any of it right now. Not with our light running so low. Alright, here we go. Let's make our way into this room. Looks like we're gonna have one more battle to deal with. Ugh. No, it's definitely not the healthiest of professions. This is it. We got a chest. Nice. Ugh. Whole group of speedras. Just what we needed. Let's see if we can't get a mass debuff going on here. Sounds good to me. Ooh, this is actually turned out to be pretty rough here. Yes, I know, man. I'll get you healed as soon as we can here. There we go. This is rough. Definitely want to get some bleeding going on here, but these spitters especially, man, they're just gnarly. Let's make it happen. Oh, and a crit with the kill. Gotta remember how low their health actually is, so that's definitely a benefit to us. I'd like to get that one in the back out of commission for sure. Let's drop it and see if we can't get a stun on it. Resisted the stun, sadly. Ow, not good. We don't need to be marked for anything right now. So it was at this point that I just all of a sudden ended up having a ton of audio issues that I wasn't aware of until after I stopped recording. Pretty much my audio just cut out at this point. Which is kind of sad because we ended up winning this fight. We ended up taking the gold home. But I figured, let's just talk about what I was going to say anyways. It was basically just me closing out the rest of the video, the rest of the game. At the end of the day, Darkest Dungeon is one of the few early access titles that I cannot recommend you check out enough. Watch everything you can about the game. Like I said, there are so many people doing tons of different playthroughs. The game just has so many different ways it can be played, and that is what really makes it a really special experience, combined with its wonderful art style. The music is outstanding, the voicing of the caretaker, it all just blends together and creates a really memorable experience. For me, Darkest Dungeon is already up there. It's on my, it's on my shelf of all-time favorite game experiences. Fallout, Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls series, the original Dragon Age, Mass Effect, it's up there with the best of them. It really has just become so memorable for me. It's become such a welcome experience. I picked it up last night around midnight, and I kept saying to myself, just one more dungeon. Next thing I know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been playing the game for 3 hours, and the first thing I wanted to do when I woke up this morning was play more of it and then make this video for you guys. And the game has just been, it's been a real treat. You know, I had watched a few people play it, and I was really skeptical on whether or not it was going to be something I was going to enjoy. And at the end of the day, it was all the small touches that really made Darkest Dungeon for me. It's not just the combat and the permadeath, it's the small bits of voice acting, the way the characters interact with you, and just how brutal the game can actually be. You know, if it wasn't for the difficulty of Darkest Dungeon, I probably would not enjoy it as much. It would just be another turn-based adventure RPG. But the fact that the game just throws curveballs at you every chance it can is what makes the experience so rewarding and so enjoyable. You know, not only is everything trying to kill you when you're in these dungeons, there are so many elements outside of the dungeons that are preventing you from keeping your heroes alive, that are preventing you from leveling people up so that you can actually take them into those more difficult dungeons. The game is just non-stop nagging at the back of your neck saying, hey, we're going to make things as hard as possible for you, and we're just going to be right here behind you, and every time you think you've understood and you think things are going your way, we're going to like crack you in the back of the head with a baseball bat and remind you that nothing is going as planned and nothing will ever go as planned, because this is Darkest Dungeon. For those reasons, I really recommend this game. Even in its early access state, it is probably the best $20 you will spend possibly all year long. And knowing that this game is actually going to receive more content on top of what is already here is really just a treat. I mean, there are so many devs that would release this game as it is right now as a full release, and people would love it and play it. But knowing that the game is going to get even more content, it's going to get more love from the devs, and that it's not even close to its full release, which is still 6 months away, just good on you, Red Hooks, man. You're on my list of awesome developers of all time. Awesome indie devs of all time, and I really hope that this game sells well. I hope that you guys are very profitable from it, and that we can continue to see you personally make more games. And while I'm at this, in case you guys happen to watch this video, how about making something like Darkest Dungeon that allows another player to be the game master? Almost like a 3D D&D. Yeah, that'd be freaking cool. That's going to do it for this one, though, guys. Really, check out Darkest Dungeon. I'll have links in the comment section below for the Steam page as well as for the developer's main website. Again, if you're looking for something special, you love these sort of hardcore masochistic experiences that also just so happen to have wonderful music, wonderful art, and wonderful atmosphere, check out Darkest Dungeon. I'll see you in the next one.